actually, we have two things to close off on, but I want to start off with the Laker, and then we'll put the Clipper in the back, just like,
They belong.
LA does. Kyle Kuzma is now a Washington Wizard, as we were talking about
Thank God.
Russell Westbrook being a Los Angeles Laker. Kyle Kuzma was one of the three players traded from the Lakers to the Wizards, and a lot of Laker fans do miss him. A lot of Laker fans are just like, F him, right? But he decided to throw, how would you say, a Q&A on Twitter.
Oh, boy.
There is a Q&A on a plane right now. Let's Q&A for a little. And there's a lot of revealing answers.
His profile photo, really? Why does he look like Howard the Duck? He looks like Howard the Duck.
I didn't think of it that way.
He looks like a duck.
So a lot of people are trying to decipher it. We could just call it balls or strikes as is.
Yeah.
Let's
All
just
right,
see it
let's
as. Somebody asked, how many hours until you arrive in Shanghai? Which obviously it could have been misinterpreted of like you going to the Sharks, right? The team that's over there. The common joke that's hacky.
Yeah.
Not going this year. This is what Kuzma says. Not going this year, but I usually go every summer. I do a lot of business over there with the exclamation point.
He's got a lot of sweatshops to run. You know that, right? Kuzmania with Puma. Allegedly.
Puma.
Allegedly.
I thought their sweatshops are in Africa,
It could be, probably.
made from real pumas.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, don't quote me on that.
They're all in the sweatshop.
The second one, Mr. Brightside148 asks him, favorite memory of being a Laker. I think he's from Britain because he put the U in the favorite, right? You see that?
Whatever
Yeah,
foreigners.
that's English spelling, yeah.
That's English spelling.
Proper English.
And then Kuzma said, hashtag 17 with the trophy emoji.
And it wasn't Kobe? His years with Kobe? Pfft,
No, he never got to play with Kobe.
that's right. Remember that.
He was a part of that trade, though, right? To Brooklyn? I think that's how
Yeah,
Lakers
for
got.
D'Lo.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then the
remember.
next one. Greatest teammate you have had thus far. And then he said Duds, referring to Jared Dudley. And it's not even close.
I wonder why. I wonder what the backstory is. Maybe, I don't know. You lent him money? I don't know.
Dudley. Okay, here's the thing. I personally did not like Dudley.
You still don't like Dudley.
I don't. I just thought he was a waste,
It's a waste of
roster
space.
spot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You know me.
I know.
He was the
As
guy.
a Blazer fan, yeah.
And I love to play the joke. Shut up about that. They don't need to know that.
We're kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
Spurs fan. Anyways. Jared Dudley, here's the thing. Okay, yeah, you put him in when it was like, oh, the Lakers are blowing a team out. It was like, no, we need a rest because we're getting blown out. Like, Jared Dudley did not serve a lot of purpose. A lot of people want to say, oh, well, he was, how would you...
mentor off the bench or on the bench, and he was like the senior advisor on the bench, sort of.
Yeah, okay, like, look, I understand with a player that's been around on the franchise for a long time, such as a Udonis Haslem. Did Udonis Haslem overstay his stay with the Miami Heat? Most certainly.
Yeah.
And I think Jared Dudley had no purpose just other than wasting a roster spot for the Los Angeles Lakers the past 2 years.
Could have been you on the bench.
Yeah, might as well been.
At this point.
I'm like, here you go, Kuzma. Here's a blunt. I'll get you whatever you want.
And there's a Kardashian around the corner somewhere.
Somewhere. I'll look for one. It might not be Courtney. It might not be Kim, but I'll definitely find a Courtney around.
Yeah, it's
or
either
Chloe.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chloe.
It's Huey, Dewey, or Louie, one of them, something like that.
We'll go to the next one. And then, is this the last one? Okay. This was actually from August 1st, and this was shortly after the Wizards traded for Kyle Kuzma, and Russell Westbrook. And this is something that I thought was revealing. SportsCenter shared something that says, this is Kobe Bryant's stat. It was an amazing stat, right? Like, Kyle Kuzma retweeted this and said, greatest ever, no question. All right, so you said that after you get traded, and that was the thing that was kind of like poking a lot of eyebrows to go up and raise. It was just like, why are you saying this now after you got traded from another GOAT in LeBron James?
Well, is there any record of him saying that LeBron was the greatest?
I know he kinged him right in front of Giannis.
Well, the GIF, yeah, I know that, or the GIF, whatever, how we pronounce it.
I want to say he did call LeBron a GOAT before.
I mean, he is. He is. I'll admit it. He's not my GOAT, but Kobe's my GOAT. But
there's several GOATs.
There's several GOATs. There's a lot of GOATs.
It's smart PR for Kuz too, because he wants to keep his LA card, and so if he is gracious towards Kobe on the way out, I think he thinks that Laker fans will maybe be cool with him.
Absolutely, because if he would have said LeBron, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, what about Kobe?"
He would have lost his LA card.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, here's the thing. I know he's always had respect for Kobe, And today he even wrote a Player Tribune article that came out today about his time and him being mesmerized by his first encounter with Kobe. It was an amazing, like I read the Instagram bio, but if you want to read, like, not the Instagram bio, I read the Instagram description. I'm going to read the rest of the article later, but just to know that, like, he was hounding Pelinka saying, I want to meet Kobe. Knowing that Pelinka is like the former agent to Kobe, he was like, I want to meet him. And then out of the blue, right before a game, Kobe texts him and he's like, holy crap, Kobe has my number. And like he meets up for dinner. He goes, what's up, Kuz? He goes, holy crap, Kobe knows my name. So,
fanboying.
Yeah, fanboying. So that was cool to know that it was like, that was Kobe, and Kuzma was like still starstruck to know that. So I think he's always had a sense of respect for Kobe, but when it comes to LeBron, it's just like, I wouldn't have been more hurt if he said LeBron's a GOAT still, like deep leaving the room.
Because I mean, as he's leaving LA and his on his way out, it'd be kind of hard because like there's no right or wrong answer, I guess, without him getting annihilated on the internets. But Kobe was the right answer for this situation. But does he really mean it? I'm sure he does.
I think he does.
Do you think it's just PR for his article that he was posting?
Player Tribune? No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he was working on it. Maybe.
So maybe he's a liar now.
Maybe he was.
Allegedly.
I don't know how long it would have taken him to write that. But who knows? He probably had a ghostwriter write that article, right?
I do like how Kuzma like shrugged off the Shanghai comment, like, "Oh yeah, I go there every summer." Blah blah blah. I was like,
played dumb.
Dude, you know what we meant, like, because I wrote it. Okay, it was me, Kuzma. I'm kidding. As all the documentation shows on the internet, I am not a Kuzma fan.
And yeah, I miss him. I wish him well. I wish him well.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, average your 19 points.
We'll close off of the show with Kawhi Leonard. What do we have to talk about with Kawhi Leonard? Well,
Kawhi Leonard.
Like, I love doing the Dave Chappelle guy that's at the extra doing the robot in the background.
Sarah Connor.
Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Ew.
Signed shortly after our show had gotten off the air last week. And he signed with the Clippers. He re-signed. It's all good because the same day Reggie Jackson re-signed for 2 years, about $22 million. I'm glad he got his. But at the same time, a lot of talking heads came out because around that time there was news that dropped about Russell Westbrook and how he was supposedly one of the players that contacted Kawhi Leonard about, hey, we should go team up in Los Angeles with the Clippers. Like, let's team up together. Kawhi was like, oh, let me get back to you. And like, apparently 20 minutes later, calls his teammate, then Oklahoma City Thunder, Paul George, and goes, do you want to do it? Do you want to team up? And then Paul George is the one that takes Russell Westbrook's spot.
So I'm curious what happened there. Did Westbrook give him the idea to team up? He goes, I want to team up, but not with you, with this guy instead.
Yeah, Kawhi got the option. I know Kawhi, so it's been Adam Oslin has been on this program before. Yeah. He works with the Clippers Radio Network. He's been on and said before that, like, if you can't pull off that trade, that Paul George trade, without Kawhi Leonard. So as much as we want to like make fun of him and say like, oh, you guys traded 6 draft picks and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Paul George, he goes, no, it's not just Paul George. It was also Kawhi Leonard. I'm like, Kawhi wasn't on the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's like, but it's a 2-for-1. Like, you couldn't have signed Kawhi Leonard if he didn't know that Paul George was coming to the OKC Thunder. So that's his whole logic. It's like they both came together. It was a 2-for-1.
So Westbrook kind of got the short end of the stick there.
Right. And then also Kawhi, I think Kawhi would have been a Laker had the Clippers not found a second star.
But was that really his next option if he couldn't do that with the Clippers?
If he didn't find the second star that was suitable to his liking.
It was for sure going to be the Lakers.
So, like, let's say Westbrook did. From my understanding, like, let's say Paul George never came. I think he would have just like been like, all right, I'm not teaming up with Russell Westbrook because that doesn't suit my style.
I mean, so I'm curious if it's something personal or is it really just his style? Does it mesh well with Kawhi's?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure if it's their history.
Because I kind of feel like now it might be something personal because you know how Westbrook is.
See, okay, like, I know, I've even heard, like, if you watch old video, like, he got mad when Scott Brooks, the head coach, got fired from Washington because he was the former coach with Russell back in Oklahoma City. Yeah. So they have good rapport. Russell Westbrook is known to be like the greatest teammate around the league. He's not Chris Paul, where it's just like you get like he's always going to stick up for his teammate.
Yeah.
So that's what I know he's probably the worst person to play against because he's always gonna be talking trash. He's always
Yeah.
gonna be like, even when he's down, he's gonna like, y'all better double team me.
Yeah, I remember like in the playoffs, like he was yelling about something like when they were playing. We were playing the Rockets, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember like, dude, we're beating you guys by like 12. Like, shut up.
You all better double team me. He starts yelling at family in the bubble.
Yeah, Rondo's brother was yelling at him.
Yeah.
So those things, I'm going like, okay, like go away, dude. But I'm like, okay, he's on our team now. It's like, okay, so it's like almost like a Patrick Beverly situation.
It could be, I think, meta world peace in a way.
But Meta's so likable. Like, I liked him even when he was on the Bulls. I mean, obviously when he was with the Pacers. But I don't know.
Yeah, I loved Meta, but at the same time, I think Laker fans are going to come around to liking Westbrook in another. Like, as much as they didn't like him when he was hopping around to, ever since he left Oklahoma City to the Houston Rockets, now to Washington Wizards. Now that he's with LA, I think Laker fans are going to have a different appreciation for him.
There's a lot of older LA fans, too, who really followed his career when he was at UCLA. And so I think he's got that cachet built in as well.
Yeah, that and the fact that he mentioned how he's coming home. That means a lot, especially to us. You know, Angelino's here. So the fact that he made sure he said that I'm coming home, like my home team. It's like, oh, so we were in your heart the whole time.
Come here, mijo.
Yeah, oh, give me a hug, mijo. Get over here.
I miss you so much.
Go grab me a tecate. I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I can't tell on the air because it's too graphic. Mijo. I don't know. Don't know where else to go with this. but I there will be a lot of drunk Theos with the Westbrook jerseys. I'm thrilled that he's wearing 0 again.
I am too.
That's a sick Laker jersey to have, to be honest. Like I still won't buy a LeBron one, but I'll buy a Russell Westbrook 0 Laker.
Wait, okay,
That's sick.
If you had to buy a jersey from the 3 superstars, would you? Since you said you won't buy from LeBron, would it be Anthony Davis or Westbrook?
I would probably be Westbrook, only because I have a longer history with Westbrook.
See, I love Anthony Davis still.
I still do. Don't get me wrong. He's still
no.
like the key, but I grew up watching Westbrook in a way.
Yeah, but I love Anthony Davis because I know he's a dominant force, and I think despite his injury this past season, that kind of made him, like, a lot of slander was thrown to his name.
Yeah.
I think he could rebound back.
I think so too. Now let me ask you this, because I'm actually kind of psyched too. Carmelo Anthony, would you get a Carmelo Anthony Laker jersey?
I always got his Denver Nuggets jersey when he was there.
Okay.
I will not get any other form of his jerseys.
Really?
Portland, I would not get New York. I will not, like, Denver was my favorite jersey. I would even buy another version of that jersey.
Oh, okay. Mike? And then I got to know with Mike.
Trevor Ariza,
You get Trevor's?
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's timeless.
Of course. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's
so,
a good one.
see, that's the one thing. Yeah, we always forget to talk about Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, because he's more of the forgotten. Wayne Ellington kind of gets lumped in there.
Well, I mean, he was during the dark times, as I mentioned before, because I remember he was like one of the few highlights. I remember creating a domino, MFer little image, and it was like Wayne Ellington as Duke Ellington, like on the piano with basketballs. Because I remember, like, yeah, he went off one night. So, like, those guys would get me excited. But yeah, as far as like jersey, I don't know if I'd buy a Melo jersey. I've always liked them and enjoyed watching them. But I just remember always, I don't know, Westbrook for some reason. It's kind of, I don't know. It's just like an LA thing, I guess, for me. It's hitting home.
Yeah. Real quick, because we didn't finish the Kawhi part. It's a two-parter.
yeah.
So we got to the part where he wanted to play with Paul George instead of Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
The last part that I want to get to is a lot of talking heads were talking about how selfish it was of Kawhi Leonard for him to have signed that contract before free agency had hit, because then the Clippers could have made their moves, right? Like, so you get to re-sign your player before the free agency starts. He waited a couple of days until a lot of prominent names had been removed. So DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, obviously there were, I'm trying to think of who else.
Which made me nervous because I thought they were going to go to the Clippers. I was like, oh, that's going to suck.
Right, because a lot of the names that were rumored to the Lakers were also being rumored to the Clippers. And so we're going like, oh, crap. Like, whatever we don't get will be then, like, left over for the Clippers. So essentially, the Clippers did not gain any situation. They didn't get any elevation. From what I'm aware of, they didn't really sign anybody new from free agency.
No, they just re-signed their guys and that was it, right?
Yeah, so a lot of talking heads have been coming out saying how selfish Kawhi Leonard is, and the fact that if he was someone that talked a lot, such as a Kevin Durant or LeBron James, then he would not be as loved as the media thinks he is.
I gotta agree. I kind of agree, because it's like actions speak louder than words. Whatever his action so far, very selfish person, sits out. He's not a good teammate. It's all right. Lakers in 5.